So this is a quick video on my advice on whether or not you should quit your job for real estate. I have actually put in my 2 weeks notice for my job to go for real estate, but only under the conditions that might actually surprise a lot of you. I am actually not quitting solely based on just my real estate portfolio. I'm actually quitting on a lot of other factors that I am putting into place. And I want to talk to you about those because if you actually quit your job way too early just based on your real estate portfolio, you might be a little shocked at some of the risks that you are taking on. So the main reason I wouldn't do it unless you have an excessive real estate portfolio is, simply put, real estate is entirely too unstable a platform for you to just quit off solely unless you have one of two variables. Either you are making well above and beyond what you're actually required to make in order to live. So let's say you need $5,000 a month in order to live, but your rental properties are performing at giving you a net cash flow. Okay, so after all maintenance, vacancies, and allocations and all that, a net cash flow of, let's say, like $15,000 a month. Then okay, you can probably just quit based on your real estate portfolio, all right? Because now your portfolio can easily handle other parts of your portfolio not paying, not performing anymore. The other variable to it, and this is where you'll see a lot of the retired veteran investors, where they do it, is if you have lots of paid off houses, or essentially you have millions of dollars in the bank from cashing out. You've sold a lot of your properties and you're cashing out in that scenario. But oftentimes new investors don't really make any of these requirements. We are trying to begin our journey, so you're probably not getting slam dunk deals. You're probably not paying off your properties, and if you could pay off all your properties that fast, I'd be curious on how bad your ROI is, on how much money did you put into this to actually get them to pay down that fast, and could you have done this more efficiently a different way? And you probably have nothing to cash out since you're a new investor watching this video. So let's get into something that's more realistic for the person quitting their job. You're buying a bunch of properties, but you only just make enough money, let's say. And that number can be a lot more misleading than you might think. Let's go into an example that makes more sense for more beginners watching this video. We'll go into what I'm doing. My real estate portfolio of 17 houses, 21 units, really. It makes me $363,000 a year in total revenue. And now that number is really misleading. You might think, well, shit, why didn't you quit your job a long time ago? But this really doesn't factor in my mortgages. It's just a revenue figure. So my actual take home is a lot lower than that. It comes out to about $30,000 a month. And then even if you think about that, you're probably still like, what the hell? Why don't you quit your job? Well, it's because I don't really actually make even that much. That's a gross profit number. So we haven't factored in all the maintenance, vacancies, and stuff, all the allocations that kind of go into it. And then partner splits, which I do have a video on why I'm not a huge fan of getting to business with partners anymore. But ultimately, if you slash all that down, it really comes out to me making about $6K a month. And that might sound crazy, but I'll do an entire video breakdown on how that works and all that math and relationship, because you might be surprised on how much it costs to actually operate this business. Now, all that aside, let's go off that $6K a month figure. And this is me being hyper conservative, by the way. Anyone who knows me from my deal breakdown videos, I am very, very conservative in how I run my numbers. So yes, do I probably bring home more than that? Yes, but I am factoring in just that as the average based on, all my pro formas, even if previous evidence has shown otherwise. So what I would do is offer a service or a product that is separate from your actual real estate. This is something that is a massive revenue creation function of your business. So I actually have 3 of them, all right? So I have my property management business, which many of you from the channel have actually hired me for. I can manage your properties here in the Baltimore City area. And from that property management business, I generate a certain consistent type of revenue. These houses will theoretically keep making money over time. It's not that much. Property management really doesn't make that much money, but it's about, let's say, $150 per door-ish. I mean, realistically, obviously, there's discounts for larger properties like triplexes and quads, but it's kind of in that number. But the best part about it is I don't spend any money necessarily to operate. I can do it all myself for now. And there's an easy equation to figure out how many employees I would need for how many properties. If the properties generate so much in revenue, then ultimately I can hire X amount of employees on a certain cost. very easy to calculate. I would recommend a type of business for you like this. There's a lot of people who offer some kind of service, but this is just something that keeps making you money over time. Now, the big important part about that is because your rental properties, you're probably depreciating and removing all of the income for your tax purposes. If you do that, then your ability to qualify for a lot of different types of loans and financing structures is going to go away almost entirely, because technically you don't make any money on paper. Also, you being able to buy your dream home usually require Fannie Mae, Freddie Mac financing. These, and even maybe similar things like a house hack strategy and such like that, are going to be next to impossible to do if your tax returns are showing zero income on your businesses, even though you make a lot more. Now, the second business I decided to start up is kind of more of a high revenue business. Now, this is one that's very variable in nature, but when it works very well. For me, that is my construction business. I started a construction company that I eventually will be flipping houses with, and I'm going to be able to churn a lot more money that way if I operate it successfully. But this is a lot more of a shaky foundation. But the revenue it brings in is so high that I can take that revenue and then churn it into more deals. Note that I'm not doing that with my property management money. My property management money is more my eating money. Same with maybe the cash flow from the properties. My high return sort of job is meant to completely take that money and just move it into high performance rentals. I have a whole video on this, but that's generally like duplexes and Airbnbs and rooming houses and such like that. So essentially, that is what that business is for. That is its basic and sole function, is to keep churning lots and lots of revenue. I would recommend something like this for many of you. I know a lot of seasoned investors on YouTube channels often did flipping houses for this type of purpose, but you can do things like being a real estate agent. It keeps you connected in the business, it keeps you knowledgeable of the business, and has a high return depending on the markets you're in. Now, the last one is a long-term wealth strategy. So essentially, for long-term wealth, you're thinking of something that is going to kind of build over time. Now, this one, a lot of you may not do, but for me, it's my YouTube channel. Arguably, as I keep building subscribers and followers over time, as I keep providing you all value, then over time the count gets bigger and bigger, and then I can help many more and more of you actually accomplish your real estate goals. Of course, this would naturally function in the form of like maybe mentorships and such. So if you're interested in that sort of thing, then feel free to contact me in the description below. I definitely don't price gouge like some of these mentorship programs do. Like I guess Grant Cardone charges, I guess, $30,000, but then again, I guess he's a billionaire, so maybe he's worth it. So basically, the goal of this video is to tell you, hey, look, don't just quit your job for real estate. It's too shaky a foundation. You may want to create a new job, essentially, that coincides with your real estate and makes you money as well. And even if it doesn't, just something out there that can assist you with making money beyond just your real estate. And just remember, I'm not offering a product necessarily just yet, but this goes into products as well. If you sell things like jewelry or books or whatever, then this is another additional source of revenue. And the great part about that is they're probably much more passive than a service-based industry where I have to manage employees. But anyway, let me know if you agree with this at all. Comment below, let me know. I'm interested in your thoughts. For those of you who have quit your job, there are a ton of variables about this. Many people's lives are different, so obviously, exceptions may apply to you, but I look forward to the discussion below, and I'll talk to you all very soon.